Disturbing images taken by one of the first people to arrive at the scene of a terrible disaster. A horrible accident resulting from heavy downpour in the Rwenzori district of Kasese. A moment later, it is confirmed whose vehicle is stuck in this wreckage of a bridge, with a shock and disappointment covering many people's eyes.
But it's good that the chairman has survived. We thank God for that. But nevertheless, we are requesting the people who are building up there to stop forthwith, or we are going to force them immediately, or we are going to arrest them.
It is clear to many that human activity around the area is responsible for this water effect, something local leadership is not willing to welcome anymore.
And whoever would be found in the areas of water catchment, we are going to arrest him or force him to plant trees or force him to vacate, because we have sensitized them, we have talked with them, they have refused.
Such are some of the effects of climate change, whose causes start slowly at local level and spread to regional level. Before one knows it all, the effects are at national and consequently international level. This is how the depletion of Lake Wamala in Mityana district is said to have started, with fishing and farming activities casting its future in doubt. Renowned for bird watching, yet its surface is said to have reduced by half as a result of human activity.
Abateze bagenda mu mazzi ne bajjayo emitego gyabwe era olaba be bantu okubeera wano ng'amapikipiki gakyalinze, abalala bakyaliyo mu mazzi tebannadda. Abaavuddeyo n'akomawo n'ettale alina ekifo awalimirwa n'agendako mu nnimiro.
We have few limited employment opportunities in the district, so most people depend on natural resources for their survival, for their livelihood. This one is putting much pressure on our natural resources. Even the high population, because we have a rapid increase in population in the district, and this one is putting much pressure on the wetlands.
Walking through the shores of this lake at Katiko village, Nama ward, Busimbi division in Mityana municipality is evident enough to prove human activity. Augustine Kabogoza is proud of having been taught how to dig soil bands to protect the ecosystem here.
Katisingola banga wenakakabala nkubeni yakatonya ettaka lino lyonna lyandigenze n'olwokuba wano waliwo trasi yakwata mukoka n'ettaka eryandikulugguse lisigalawo ate era n'etayonoona butonde bwa nnyanja yaffe.
But how sustainable is this without interventions and guidance by the District Natural Resources Department? Well, the intervention was taken to save Lake Wamala and other wetlands from encroachment, only to be dealt a blow by unwarranted political interference.
The politicians don't allow us to evict people from these fragile ecosystems using politics. One time a politician told me, we can sacrifice you if you don't leave this alone. And in fact, sometimes when you insist on these people, they take you to court. You have a challenge. As I talk right now, there is a case against me in high court because I try to stop people who have land titles in wetlands. That they are saying that I'm disturbing them. They have a land title, and remember, before I forget, even our laws are contradicting. The Constitution says, and even the Land Act says that land belongs to people. And indeed, the people have wetlands. If land belongs to people, and then somebody has got a land title, now you are stopping him from using his land. That is also a challenge which we have. So it has to be addressed here to achieve our target.
Yes, there may be several interventions employed by environmentalists to complement district efforts in addressing climate change adaptation and building public resilience. But for as long as the situations of poverty, land tenure system, unemployment, uncontrolled immigration, low level of adaptation, inadequate funding and no alternative source of fuel remain the way they are, not much can be achieved.
People come up with their local innovation, like using organic fertilizers. Many have come up with an innovation of coming up with these indigenous seeds, because as you are aware, even indigenous seeds are getting extinct, especially the trees and the crops. Like now we have these crops which are getting extinct, like what we call in our local language, ebigaga, empindi.
A number of issues are related with climate change, and I think we need to, at least when we're addressing climate change, to enlighten, to make our people aware that please, climate change is not a one-directional thing. It is affecting all the stakeholders. But if we don't have that, then it becomes a key constraint to the people, because they may associate it to politics, they may associate it to land tenure system.
We have failed to manage our water sources. For example, now the wetlands have been encroached on, they are drying up, they are badly managed, we don't have a proper law. And then apart from that, we are just thinking about the big wetlands, like Lake Victoria, like River Nile, like Lake Wamala. Now I am happy that I made some advocacy. Now it has been taken up by the local community, by the district, by international community, by the government. I am so happy with that. But at the community level, we have these like wells. We have wells. We have streams, we have small rivers. Those are people where the local community depend.
Just imagine tree planting as one intervention that could have seen Mirembe Rita, a mother of one from Wabiruko village, venture into tree seedlings.
Twatandikanga tumerusa miti kuba baali baginoonya kati ne tugitandikanga business. Nitandika okumerusa emiti, tugimerusa buli sizoni, bakasoma nga bagitwala.
Yet she is not aware of the extent to which eucalyptus trees conserve the environment.
Sinamanya nnyo gundi ya kalitunsi bwekuuma butonde.
This brings the question of awareness and sensitization into perspective.
Many people don't know. They even don't know that there are people who could be impacting on the environment.
Natural resources have been destroyed, and partly due to our actions, charcoal burning, industrialization, but basically because there is no awareness creation among farmers. And if they were, maybe we have enough fora to bring these farmers on board, could be these practices would be controlled.
There is little preparedness for the disasters that are going to be that are yet to happen. So since you have not prepared for the forthcoming event that may have a very big impact on the community, the ecosystems, and the biodiversity around within the ecological system, then it becomes very hard to combat its effects. So in case we are to really make sure that resilience is put on board for the different ecosystems that may be affected, we should make sure that we do earlier proper disaster preparedness.
And the frontliners are the local people, together with the district local governments, because these are people who interface with the common man every day. But what is it that they're going to do when they don't have a budget? People should have a specific budget that caters for issues that address challenges of climate change adaptation, and resilience practices.
What if local governments were implored to protect the ecosystem? Wouldn't this change environmental degradation trends in the world? The answer could be yes. But how effective would this be with inadequate funding allocated to district natural resources departments?
We cannot achieve our goal of mitigating climate change effects without creating a fund to cater for all these activities we have planned for. Remember, climate change and natural resource management is a key sector for achieving our vision, the national goal, the Vision 2020, because all the sectors of the economy which will help us achieve this vision depend either directly or indirectly on natural resource management. Look at agriculture. It depends on natural resource management. With climate change, with the weather, unreliable rainfall, agriculture, which employs more than 80% of the people in Uganda, cannot help us without addressing climate change.
In Mityana district, less than 6 million shillings is allocated to the Natural Resources Department every financial year, to which Yasin Bira says nothing much can be done.
We need about 200 million financial year to implement those climate change activities which we would like to plan for, like demarcating this lakeshore buffer zone. We need to demarcate with concrete pillars which are permanent. So if we could identify the fish breeding zones and then demarcate them, that component of promoting irrigation on large scale, that is an important climate change intervention. We need to establish big irrigation schemes near wetlands and water sources so that people can use the water from upland instead of encroaching on wetlands and lake shores.
Perhaps the same reason why ecologists want the National Climate Change Law, whose bill of 2017 is in offing, to provide answers to these questions. The bill seeks to provide mainstreaming of climate change in different sectors and provide a framework for addressing global climate change in Uganda.
First of all, local governments are closer to the people. And I think they should be the primary taking the primary responsibility. Before you come to national level, the local government should have a system.
Some of the environmental issues lie within the agriculture sector, in the fisheries, in the forestry. So it's like the climate change issues don't have a specific designated area that they fit in. But if, for example, we have a budget and we find a designated office, for example, in the office of the District Environment Office or the District Natural Resources Department, so that we have a clear way of monitoring such activities that are related to climate change.
This is a two-way. We should start the law should capture something to do with irrigation, because now climate change is real.
It's one thing to say that this should be done and this should be done, but if there is no mechanism of enforcement, then it's very easy for these things to remain on paper. But there should be a system for enforcement at all levels, so that each and everybody know that if I don't do this, then maybe this can happen to me. You can take an example. Somebody destroying maybe a forest that's benefiting the whole community. If there is no mechanism for maybe penalizing that person, then nothing much can happen.
These concerns being just a complementary to a petition by Uganda Coalition for Sustainable Development, which is before the Speaker of Parliament and Prime Minister of Uganda. They want the upcoming climate change bill to fill some gaps with the need for targeted action for vulnerable groups being top. How far the law can go in addressing this could be a matter of time for a bill whose drafting is still under consultation.